I know, right? Okay, for some reason, I forgot to switch off the intro part. That was the intro for the Tree Marketer Show. It's not the same thing. No, this is not the Tree Marketer Show. You're here. I'm Jason, and we're gonna discuss something else. Okay, it's not about just the Tree Marketer Show where you usually see me and Andrew and Manfred will come live together with a guest usually to discuss anything about digital marketing. So if you kind of like interested, you can actually tune in on every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. on my YouTube channel to actually join us, and you can ask a lot of questions. Like last week, we had somebody talking about PR, right? Like PR was really something that I'm totally like not familiar with, and we learned a great deal from these kind of like learning sessions. So I would encourage that you join us. Now, what do we do here? Okay, what we do here on Sunday night is not we anymore. On Sunday night, I call this Ask Me Anything Sunday. That I want to quickly bring up. This is a kind of like a new cover on this thing because it also marks a very important so-called well, I would call this a milestone where we are launching a new pillar. We are launching a new pillar, which is YouTube marketing. So as you can see, we're no longer just discuss about Facebook advertising, which is something that I've been doing in the last 12 years. I also want to help more people to actually achieve meaningful results using a YouTube channel. This is because in the past 1 year plus, okay, I have been actively growing my YouTube channel. However, if you're familiar with my YouTube channel, you know that I have a very small YouTube channel. So a small YouTube channel with only about, I think slightly, we are only about 4.4K so-called subscribers at this point of time. And the growing rate is very slow if you ask me. And if you look at my YouTube channel, most of the YouTube videos that I have posted has less than 100 views. However, this is a channel that has generated me over six-figure, US dollar in revenue since 2020 July. So that's something that I think we kind of figure out because okay, here's how the whole thing started. I actually started without knowing what I do. So at that point of time, I enrolled into some so-called courses that was offered by some prominent YouTube so-called coaches. So what I did was I actually went through some learning and all that, but eventually when it comes to implementation, I realized I face a different challenge, a set of different challenge, which is, you see, we are not like so-called some other YouTubers. I mean, I call them YouTubers or influencers, where most of the time what they do is they do something like, entertainment, and some actually likes to do prank and maybe infotainment. Well, there are all these kind of different YouTube channels around, right? But what I wanted to start was really something very niche, which is on solely on Facebook advertising. So I was really afraid, as in whether this is going to work out for me. And to be frank, all the method that we learn from so-called YouTubers out there may not be 100% applicable to what we do because of the B2B niche that we are in, right? And as a coach, as a trainer, as a specialist, I think we have a different set of so-called challenges that we need to tackle. So the other challenge that I faced was at the very beginning, the channel growth was really kind of like almost non-existent. So for a while, I have been posting when I first started, right? In fact, I actually started my YouTube channel way back, I think in 2019 or 2018, if you look at my channel information. But then again, at that point of time, right, when we first started the YouTube channel, every time we post something, we were anticipating whether people would actually kind of like come in and comment. Even we actually promoted using our email list and stuff like that. But we saw very, almost nothing, in terms of whether any growth or anything from there. But having said that, I gave myself a very interesting challenge at that point of time. I think we started in July or no, August, started in August. I was telling myself that, hey, I want to actually do something something crazy. So I decided to start, I post at least one video a day at that point of time. That's how we started. So but of course, we found a very interesting way to do this, which is kind of like what you're seeing right now. We use this Ask Me Anything Sunday night session to actually answer some questions. And we repurpose these videos to become standalone videos on my YouTube channel. So that's not something like a rocket science. But of course, you need to do a bit of like, intro and outro kind of stuff, which can eventually turn it into a video. It was quite interesting. At one point, we started to see some interesting growth, but the most important part is we started to see revenue. Now, how does it work? Well, the revenue that we got was really not from advertising. In fact, we started monetizing, as in like really enroll into the YouTube partner program only, I think, less than 6 months ago. Okay, so and the revenue that we gotten from the so-called advertisement sharing was really, really low. Well, but what kind of revenue that we got was really, the referral traffic that YouTube managed to send us to our website. That's the first part. So the traffic that came from YouTube was really, really high quality. Why? Because these are the people who are really intended. They have watched at least a few of my videos. At least they kind of like, okay, I feel okay with this guy, the way he speak, well, the look maybe. So they came over and they will ask for something next level. So a lot of them went on to actually sign up to our courses, which was one of the main revenue source. And on top of that, we also gotten some so-called coaching inquiries. And in fact, it attracted us very meaningful so-called coaching clients from all around the world. It was really a gateway that launched ourselves, or launched rather my business, into an international business where we were given the opportunity to work with a lot of so-called different people that are really serious about Facebook advertising at that point of time. Because here's the thing, those people who care enough to go on YouTube or Google to search for something are really high quality, if you agree with me. So when they found me, they are already having some sort of issues. And if they actually found me through their queries, that means I actually kind of like have some answers to their questions. And they will definitely come in and go through all this. And eventually, if they are convinced, it's a lot easier to convert. Because here's the thing, when they come over and ask, most of the questions that I received from so-called these kind of referral traffics was really about, Jason, how can I learn from you? How can I level up? What's the next program that I can enroll into, in order to help me solve this problem that I'm having? So usually this is really kind of like, in a way, if you ask me, if you run an agency, or if you are an expert, and you are looking for people to come to you, knock on their doors to take your solution, it's like a dream come true, if you ask me. Well, you see, because when these people come over, they don't ask for like something that we usually get, as an agency back then, when I was still running my agency. I started my agency in 2010, and we ran all the way until 2020, right? So at that point of time, we were kind of like, running agency, sometimes you get inquiries, and the kind of inquiries goes like this. Hi, I am company XXX. We're looking for, the Facebook ads agency. Can you give us a quotation, or can you send us a proposal? I mean, that this is damn cold kind of stuff, right? So this damn cold kind of stuff, I'm not saying that they're not good, but the challenge is you need to go through a very long prospecting process. Well, but after we kind of like, I gotten really active with my YouTube channel, the inquiries that I got was really, Jason, how can I go level up with you? What can I do next with you? What is the next program that I should get into? So, that's really something that, as a marketer, if as a B2B marketer, if you, to be very specific, right, it's like a dream come true. So that was what I enjoyed for over a year, since 2020. I mean, of course, we started in August 2020, as in like actively. We started seeing so-called like the referral coming in from, I think, October 2020. So if you ask me, does it take a long time to build a channel that can bring us referral traffic, or so-called organic traffic with highly intended audience? I would say you don't need to. So I would say, you probably need a month or two. I mean, let's give it a 2 to 3 months kind of stuff. So that's how whole thing roll into, right? But of course, running this kind of channel, I mean, at that point of time, we were kind of comfortable. We just keep running, right? Until recently, until recently, which is about when did I start? I think it was in November. So, at that point of time, I was thinking, look, if you want to grow your channel like this, not everybody has that kind of stamina, as in like to do something that I do. So I was thinking, was that possible? Is it possible to do, to have a different approach? So eventually I did a very rigorous experiment. Well, it's first of all, it was a very damn niche so-called topic. I talk about plant and I use Mandarin. So for this kind of topic, you know that the market is very limited because YouTube is not in China. So it's only Taiwan, Singapore, Malaysia, and maybe sometimes Hong Kong. And I speak Mandarin, you see, not Cantonese. So for this kind of channel, it's a lot harder to grow. And we're not talking about something but plant, about all these planting tips, watering tips and all that. So that was how I started. And in fact, I took a slower kind of like pace, like doing daily video that I used to do for my YouTube channel, the Travel Academy one that you see. In fact, I've been doing this. I still do it on the daily basis. But the video is not something very heavily produced and all this kind of stuff, right? So for that channel, I did a bit of more work. But in fact, with more work also, I'm the kind of person who wants to simplify everything. So we simplify everything. But of course, we have a structure, an SOP to do this. So we have a script, a scripting system, and we have a ideal video length. And my video editing kind of like process was also being optimized. So we post weekly. So about 1 month plus down the road, right? I mean, at the beginning, we posted a little bit more videos just to jumpstart the channel. So up to now, we posted about 14 videos. Okay, 14 videos. And can you imagine that in just less than 2 months, 14 videos posted, 9 of them crossed 1,000 view mark. 9 of the videos crossed 1,000 view mark. It's to be, if you ask me, getting to 100 view on normal video is also a damn challenging stuff. But needless to talk about crossing 1,000 and growing at a rate at a few hundred views a day. So that is kind of situation that is happening because in a way, because I was doing a lot of research, there are ways that you can trigger YouTube algorithms to start promoting your video organically. And that was what I was experiencing for my new YouTube channel. That's why with this success in a way, and of course, we are going to apply similar thing to some of my coaching clients, and of course, my back to my the Travel Academy channel. We're going to revamp with some new posting pace and all that. I believe this is something that I can really offer to B2B businesses because I just want you to imagine how much are you spending running ads on Google or so-called maybe spending on your search engine optimization, the SEO part. You see, look, not all businesses are suitable to advertise on Facebook. Put it this way, and especially for B2B businesses. In fact, a lot of times when you advertise on Facebook, it's very difficult to attract intended audiences, if you understand what I mean. You may get a lot of clicks and you may get a lot of leads, but at the end of the day, these are the people who may not be really keen on your product or services. So that's the situation that we are facing. So eventually, we want to get in highly intended audiences, but how? And if you want to advertise on Google, in fact, we just completed a training with Ian talking about Google advertising. If you want, then we're going to put it up as a course very soon that you can actually enroll and learn. It was a very powerful course, if you ask me. Ian did a great job covering all the things as a beginner you need to know and understand about Google advertising and complete walkthrough on how you can set up a campaign in the most effective way and even go in to completely walk through the whole Google Ads manager kind of stuff. Very powerful. And most importantly, Ian covered a lot of thought process kind of thing. So as a marketer, you know how to optimize, you know how to judge whether your campaign is doing good or not. So these are all the things that was covered in Ian's Google Ads Masterclass. So stay tuned. And if you're watching the replay, you can click on, we will put in the description as a link that you can go in and, learn. But then again, when it comes to YouTube marketing, if you look at it, the benefit would be, in fact, for the past 1 month, 1 year plus, right? I spent almost none in Google Ads, in SEO. And you know, I am the kind of person who can't really do writing. So for those who are not into writing and you want to gain this kind of like so-called eyeball on this, in fact, you should start looking at YouTube marketing. Now you may say that, oh, I'm not a person who's very good with the camera. In fact, doing YouTube marketing doesn't need to show your face. Well, I will show you a lot of YouTube channels that are doing very well without showing face. Seriously, you don't need to show your face at all. But then again, all you need to do is to be able to find a niche and offer value and bring answers to the table. Then you will have a different kind of like, then you will build a channel. But just think about this, for my little channel that is really targeting a very super crazy niche, talking about Facebook advertising, not marketing. The Facebook advertising is such a niche that, to be frank, not many people are talking about it. In the whole world, there are only a few million Facebook advertisers, to be frank. And well, not all of them are looking for answers. So it's a very niche audience. But yet again, with that, right, we can achieve 6-figure in revenue, generated through this tiny YouTube channel. So I believe that could be something that you want to look into. That's why, because of that, I think I want to launch another pillar of my business, which is I want to use the knowledge that I have gained in the past 1 year plus to help businesses who wants to launch their YouTube channel. So if you are thinking to launch a new channel, because we all know that the problem about social media and all these channels is like this. You talk about Facebook and Instagram, advertising is the cost is rising. And in terms of content side, we all know the trouble, right? Creating content on Facebook and Instagram has a very short lifespan, if you get what I mean. So you post something, you may or may not get attention because eventually you're only reaching a fraction of your audience. And there is a necessity to constantly create new content. And the problem about this is the old content will go wasted. So the other day I was just discussing with my client, my coaching client. They were saying, Jason, Facebook advertising aside, right, we spend a lot of money on creating content because we kind of like always have this urge or need to create content for Facebook or Instagram, or even sometimes somebody cross over to TikTok, right? I mean, at the end of the day, is it worth it? So we break it down to the equation where, every time you post a content on Facebook, you'll be probably reaching about, like 3% of your total people who like your Facebook page. Now, if you have 1,000, then you probably reach 30. Then what about these 900 over people? Then you'll be like, what the hell? A lot of people still thought that they will reach all of them, but the fact is not. And the second problem about social media content is this. Nobody will go to Facebook to look for a Facebook ads related question, all right? And nobody will go to TikTok to look for a Google ads related question, agree? But you will go to Google and Google for an answer to a pressing question that you're having right now. That's how I get found by a lot of people that has very serious or so-called, because when you have that kind of burning question, you need answers, you turn to Google. And Google own YouTube. And in fact, right, because I built my YouTube channel, my overall organic reach increased. I mean, my Google search ranking, as in like what do we call that? My organic traffic that I gotten from Google rose by 200% since 2020, before and after a YouTube channel. And YouTube contributed another 50% of the total so-called organic traffic. So we gotten about 300% growth in organic traffic generated from both Google and YouTube. So that's the benefit of having a YouTube channel, if you ask me. So for businesses out there, if you're looking for an alternative, if you're already active on social media like Facebook, Instagram and all that, especially now we talk about another channel, which is LinkedIn, right? If you're already posting like crazy on LinkedIn and you want to level up, you want to get Google or so-called YouTube game right. In fact, the most highly intended audiences come from Google and YouTube, because Google is the largest search engine. YouTube is the second, owned by the largest. So when you combine these two together, it is actually very powerful. That's why if you're looking at this, regardless whether you're watching the currently live or the replay, I would like to invite you to join my new live training. This is happening on Friday night, okay, or coming Friday night. Today is already Sunday. 5 more days to go. On Friday night at 8:30 p.m. Malaysia time. which I call the six-figure YouTube channel. I mean, six-figure YouTube channel is really the story, the true story of my YouTube channel. But then again, in fact, in this program, it's a free to join program. Okay, 2-hour workshop that you can join. What I'm going to break it down to you is first, my key learning in the past 1 year plus building my YouTube channel, and of course the new one that I just launched about less than 2 months ago. And how do we actually learn great deal from these two programs, and how can you put this to use on your YouTube channel? So, I mean, regardless what you do, right? If you, especially if you're an expert, a coach, an agency, imagine you can start getting highly intended audiences knocking on your door and say that instead, I mean, the story, remember the example that I gave you? Instead of, oh, Jason, can you send me a proposal? Rather, you get questions like, Jason, what can I do next with you? I mean, that kind of so-called high quality audience that you can potentially get is very powerful. So I would suggest that you go over, if that's something that you want to do, to launch yourself as an authority and to build yourself another strong and powerful so-called traffic source on, combining YouTube and Google. Go over to Six-Figure YouTube channel. I mean, to join on at tribeupacademy.com/YouTube to join this free program. Okay. So yeah, I just want to use this because today we don't have any questions. That's a strange day. That's why if you guys have any questions, you guys can pop in the chat, right? But for some reason, my chat is not happening. Where is my cursor? Okay, I got confused about my cursor. I mean, yeah, this is actually kind of like the situation. Oh, we have Doris here. Doris has a question. Which are the businesses suitable using YouTube advertising? Okay, well, this is a very good question. This is a very good question. Here's how it works. As long as you are solving problems, you get what I mean? You are solving problems or you're answering questions, and people ask questions that you can offer them solution. If you ask me, like I answer a lot of Facebook ads questions, that's that. And if you are, let's say, for example, if you're selling jewelry, you can actually do a lot of videos about how to differentiate whether it's a real one or not a fake one, counterfeit, okay, or how to maintain your jewelry. Like if you do leather bags or something like that, exclusive or all these kind of expensive leather, you can ask people, you can teach people how to maintain your bags, all those kind of stuff. So all these are the videos. In fact, you have no, I will show you, come over to this group, right? And to this program and then join me. And I will show you some examples of some unthinkable questions that people are really asking. And I will teach you how to find whether are people looking for any solutions about your industry. So if you are in a business that people are asking questions about, a problem that you can solve, then you have a channel. Then you have a reason to go on YouTube, because the power of it that is able to get you is enormous. Okay. And Jin is asking, you didn't know that I do YouTube? I started because I have built several YouTube channels. It's quite interesting, and I believe I have a framework that I can help you launch. Like I mentioned just now, right? If you missed it, I'm not sure when you joined, Jin. I launched a new channel only in November last year, okay? And we only posted about 14 videos, and it's on a very crazy niche, which is on what do we call that? On plant. Can you imagine that? In fact, out of the 14 videos we posted, 9 of them has already crossed 1,000 view mark. If you ask me, that's remarkable. Okay, 1,000 view mark is remarkable. And although the channel growth is not, as in like the subscriber growth is not great yet, but it's still very consistent. But then again, right, what I want to highlight here is if you're running so-called a channel for a business, in fact, the so-called subscriber growth is not something that you should look into. You should actually look at how can you generate or actually attract the right crowd. Jin is saying YouTube ads. No. I'm not referring to YouTube ads. I'm talking about building a YouTube channel that can generate you consistent inflow of highly intended traffic. That's what happened to my business. In the past 1 year plus, my YouTube channel, although it's very small, we only have about 4.4K subscribers at this point of time, damn small. but it has generated me 6-figure revenue in US dollar. So that's that kind of power. Because if you're able to harvest this kind of highly intended audience, in fact, we can do a lot more things. Okay, cross 1,000 view organically. You're right, organically, and the reason why we are growing at that rate is because we hit a so-called, in a way, it was an experiment, learned somewhere, modified a little bit, but it hit on a very interesting so-called crack a code to get YouTube to recognize the video as so-called an answer to the question. And eventually, I would say most of the video, the growth, why were we growing at that rate was because 80% close to, in fact, 90% of the video, of the view was actually contributed by YouTube recommendation. You get what I mean? YouTube recommendations means if your video has become something YouTube recognizes as a very good answer that to a question that people might be looking for. You know, when you're watching a video, on the right hand side there is this recommended next video, up next and all this kind of thing. A lot of views were actually coming from there. And because we cracked the code, the whole video was kind of optimized. So we're talking about building optimized video that you don't need to have a lot. I'm saying that if you can actually have about 10 to 20 videos, right, and you can consistently post at least 2 to 3 videos a month, you can actually maintain that kind of growth that we're looking at. So that's the kind of framework that I want to share with you in this 6-figure YouTube channel workshop. So if this is something that you want to do, I would strongly recommend that you join me on the Friday night. I know it's Chinese New Year, but I don't celebrate this year, right? Because we're not going anywhere. But then again, even that, right, doesn't stop you from learning, because we're talking about, of course, Chinese New Year. But then again, we need to really get 2022 running. We need to make sure that we are entering the year with the right momentum, that we want to go in and do a lot of things to really grow our business in this way. So if that's something that you want, then we can actually do that. And Jin said, you think that's what we did for my first channel? My first channel was a different strategy in a way, okay? In fact, what we were doing on the first channel is not something that is really easily replicated. Because if I teach you how I grow my first channel, you'll be like, shit, Jason, I can't do this. It's not easy. Because you're talking about daily posting, even though you talk about repurposing the content, but daily posting is a bit exhausting, first. Second thing is, it's not, the momentum is one thing. The second thing is, most of my videos, if you look at it, right, they are not optimized to generate that kind of like stronger call to action. That's why moving forward, even for this first channel that I'm actually looking at, the Travel Academy one, we're going to change the video strategy. Although I'm still going to post daily because I have a lot of content, right? Why not? But we will be doing series of videos that is very much catered to target on solving a very specific problems with a very specific solution, with a very well-crafted so-called video strategy. So what would happen is, since I'm now launching YouTube so-called channel coaching as my new program, what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch a series of videos targeting on YouTube channel growth for B2B businesses or for, super niche businesses. So I probably don't need to do a lot of videos. I probably need only about 10 videos. But we will do 10 videos that are tackling on the most asked questions. And these 10 videos will be out there as our very powerful traffic generating videos bringing in. So the moment we bring these people in, they will be very highly motivated to actually learn more from us. So that's the kind of structure that I'm actually deploying in my new YouTube channel. And I will be deploying on my existing YouTube channel, not really to accelerate growth, but to really harvest highly qualified audiences that are more likely to turn into businesses. That's what's going to happen. Okay. Okay, Jin is saying probably for the URL of the slide next time can position it higher or to the middle so the auto-generated subtitle won't block it. Oh, really? Okay, understand. I'll do that. Oh yeah, the auto-generated subtitle. I forgot about that. Can. Point taken. So yep, if this is something that you want to do, thanks, Jin. Thanks. Appreciate that. So if this is something that you want to do, if YouTube channel is something that you're looking into to grow your voice, to actually establish yourself as an authority. I'm not talking about something that you need about 3-4 months to happen. As short as 1-2 months, you can see results. And you want to grow your business to drive more organic traffic, to reduce your dependency on Facebook advertising and all these social media channels, that you can build something that has a longer term of so-called benefit to your business. I would strongly encourage you, and I would invite you, to join me in this 6-figure YouTube channel workshop that is happening on coming Friday. Okay, well, that shows how good I am, because no question also I can yam all the way non-stop for half an hour. So that's what I do. Okay, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you if you are watching live or if you're watching the replay. I hope I'm not boring you, but seriously, think about something else other than Facebook and Instagram and even TikTok. We want to be highly searchable, and YouTube will be the answer. All right. So guys, Jin is asking, am I starting to teach YouTube ads? In fact, part of the strategy is to spend very minimal on YouTube ads. But if you want to learn Google ads, that's another thing that Ian has covered. But YouTube ads is really not something I specialize in. Okay, so basically it's about growing a YouTube channel. YouTube ads is probably another different thing. But if you are talking about creating a video for YouTube ad, definitely I have a script for that, because I did run some ads on YouTube, learning. Because what I'm going to share with you in this workshop, in this 6-figure YouTube channel workshop, I'll be sharing a lot of things that I learned from the paid workshops that I actually purchased. So even the free one is going to be very, very packed with a lot of so-called useful information. So yeah, join me. But YouTube ads is not what I specialize in, but we do have a bit of the element to actually jumpstart the growth. With very, very minimal spend, you will be surprised. With 1 ringgit a day, you can do marvel. So that's what's gonna happen. All right, join me on 6-figure YouTube channel, Jin. Okay, thank you for joining me. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, whoever who are still here. But if you're watching this, right, if you're watched up to now, join my 6-figure YouTube channel that is happening on Friday night, and I'm gonna share with you how I grow my YouTube channel into a 6-figure revenue. Generated only through YouTube. Okay, basically that's, in my opinion, that's quite a very interesting success that we have achieved, and I want to share with you whatever I learned. So join me. Okay, all right, guys, thank you so much. And remember, moving forward, we will not just cover Facebook ads. If you have any questions about YouTube marketing, especially marketing your YouTube channel and how can you actually use YouTube channel to grow your business in a more meaningful way, you are welcome to pop your questions in the chat or in the comment. So join me next Sunday night. Of course, before that, Friday night. Let's do this together. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. And I will see you on Friday and, of course, coming Sunday to go through these questions all together. Thank you, Jean, for putting the link over here. Thank you so much. Okay, and see you next week. I'll see you on Friday and Sunday. Good night. Bye-bye.